Joining me now is Sky News contributor Louise Roberts, and all the way from Italy, no doubt on holiday, commentator Samara Gill. Now, Samara, let's call it perhaps a misalignment of expectations between the Princess Royal and Prince William. It's rather interesting. Is there going to be some sort of change of strategy, do you think?
Look, I don't know about a change of strategy when that side is really coming from William. I mean, insiders are obviously, as you said, claiming that William isn't stepping up to do more of those bread and butter engagements. And coming from the hardest working royal, that's got to hurt when that sort of sentiment does come from that direction. But I think controversially, Anne is not in the right here. I do think, yes, she is the hardest working royal, but William really needs to focus on being future focused and not frantic. He needs to prepare for the long game. He needs to strategize for a modern monarchy, and he can't just perform these bread and butter rituals. We're also forgetting this man has a family that he needs to take care of. Anne is in a very different stage of her life. The princess obviously works hard, but that is her job, and she's always towed the line for them. I think we need to cut William some slack. He's got his father who's still going through treatments, his wife who has had a hell of a year last year, and his focus has really been the kids from what I hear from sources. So I really think that he needs to focus on quality, not quantity, and I'm actually liking this new strategy that he's implemented.
Yeah, fair enough. And Louise, look, we know the royal family is modernising and leaning. Does it mean maybe there's just less of the things that they've done before?
Look, maybe, and I think, Prince William is very hard-working as well as is Princess Anne. So I don't really think there's any sort of suggestion that he's slacking off at all. But I do think the bread and butter events are very important, because the monarchy only survives if the royals are out there meeting ordinary people and sort of reaffirming why the monarchy should still exist, rather than being some sort of archaic institution. But I mean, Samara's right. He does have a young family, and he's had a lot of personal issues to deal with, not the least, of course, the feud with his younger brother. So, but in a way, I think Anne is trying to gently suggest to him that, yes, you do have your own causes, sort of environmentalism and mental health and things like that, but at the end of the day, people need to see you out and about perhaps a bit more. But how he would be able to balance that, I'm not really sure, given the demands on his time already.
Yeah, correct. Huge demands. Now, Louise just alluded to it, Samara, but a bit more this week on the attempts to mend the royal rift. What's the update, and what are the sticking points?
I mean, the update is that reports are saying King Charles is cautious and wary of Prince Harry's attempts to reconcile. Now, I don't blame the king. I mean, that's a nice way of putting it for the hell that man has been put through by Harry and Meghan. I mean, obviously, Harry has invited the king to the 2027 Invictus Games, but the monarch still really does remain skeptical of his motives, and I can only imagine why. I mean, this comes on the week that Netflix has cancelled their massive $100 million deal. And I just think that the money is drying up for Harry, and he's coming back cup in hand to the king and wanting reconciliation. And as Dickie Arbiter said, who was the former press secretary of Queen Elizabeth II, he said Harry needs to actually apologise before he can even think of reconciling with the king. And that's what's missing here, an apology. And I don't think that Harry, with his victim complex, is going to come out with one anytime soon.
Well, you think that would be the first port of call, and on that, Louise, like Samara said, there is news this week that it looks like the Sussexes Netflix deal is not going to be renewed. So what do we know in and around that? Is that actually confirmed? Are you surprised? But again, the way that feeds back into Harry's relationship with the royal family on the other side of the pond.
Well, that's right. So, yes, by September, that $100 million deal is no more. It will expire. It will not be renewed. And it's no surprise, because the value of Meghan and Harry is their proximity to the royal family. And once they'd exhausted that tell-all whinge fest, the global whinge fest they were on, their value plummeted. Although I think Netflix obviously played their cards well by getting to do that original series, which broke all streaming records, the most successful streaming docu-series of all time, apparently. But they were foolish to allow the two of them to then do their own series, which of course has not really played out well. Of course, particularly Harry's polo series, which I believe saw viewing figures of about 500,000 people, which is absolutely appalling. Now, if they want to do more TV production, they'll have to do it away from Netflix. They'll have to find their own production house, which will be very expensive. But Netflix, again, have been very canny here because they've agreed to a first look deal, which I believe means if Harry and Meghan do actually produce something else worth watching, they'll get first dibs on it.
Yeah, fair enough. Samara, have you got anything you'd like to add to that?
It's not likely that Harry and Meghan will produce anything worth a look in. I mean, the disastrous numbers for the viewing figures of their shows that weren't about them whinging about their victim story and how badly the royal family treated them, which a lot of that has come out just simply wasn't even true. I don't think there's a future here. And I think the one issue that Harry and Meghan are going to have in the nearby future is money. I think that their lifestyle is extremely, extremely expensive. And with these deals very quickly drying up, I don't know. There's not that many pots of jam you can sell to fund that lifestyle.